Everyone, myself Dr. S. Mohammed Nazeer. This class I am going to teach you microeconomics. In microeconomics, monopolistic competition. What is monopolistic competition? Monopolistic competition refers to the situation in which there are large number of sellers selling differentiated products. That product has close substitutes. So there are large number of sellers, large number of buyers buying a differentiated product. The product has close substitutes. This is the meaning of monopolistic competition. Now, features or characteristics of monopolistic competition. Under monopolistic competition, there should be a large number of sellers. This is the first feature, large number of sellers. The second feature, the products produced by the producer have close substitutes. The second feature. The third feature, under monopolistic competition, the producers has to incur selling cost. So, under monopolistic competition, the producers has to incur selling cost. The fourth feature, there is freedom to entry and exit of the firm into the industry. So, freedom to entry and exit the firm into the industry. The fifth feature, under monopolistic competition, different firms produce different varieties of products. That is to say, product differentiation. The sixth feature, the existence of the monopolistic competition depends upon the imperfection in the knowledge of the buyer. So, imperfection knowledge of the buyer is the sixth feature of the monopolistic competition. The seventh feature, the seventh and important feature of monopolistic competition is that the firm has a price policy, whereas under perfect competition, a firm is only a price taker. Another very important feature of monopolistic competition is the non-price competition. It means method of competing rivals other than price cutting, namely guarantee for repair within a period of time. After sales service, a gift scheme, a discount not declared in the price list, free transport, etc. It is called a non-price competition. It is the main feature of the monopolistic competition. Now, price and output determination under monopolistic competition. Price output determination under monopolistic competition is as the same analysis of equilibrium of the firm and industry. Under monopolistic competition, different firms produce different varieties of products. Therefore, different prices for them will be determined in the market depending upon their respective demand and cost conditions. The cost curve governed by the law of production. The average revenue curve of the firm under monopolistic competition will be sloping downward curve from left to right. Further, the MR curve will also downward sloping curve, but it will be steeper, that is less than the AR curve, same as in the monopoly. We have to study not only the individual equilibrium of the firm, but also group equilibrium of the firm or equilibrium of the industry. First, let us discuss the equilibrium of the firm. Equilibrium of the firm or individual equilibrium. Under monopolistic competition, also a firm is said to be in equilibrium only when it sells the equilibrium output with maximize its profit by equating marginal revenue and marginal cost. Let me see the short-term equilibrium of the firm with supernormal profit with the help of diagram. In the diagram, x-axis represents output and y-axis represents price. SRMR, short-term marginal revenue curve. SRAR, short-term average revenue curve. SRMC, short-term marginal cost curve. And SRAC, short-term average cost curve. The point E is a equilibrium point at which SRMR, short-term marginal revenue, is equals to SRMC, short-term marginal cost curve. So MR is equals to MC here. At this point, this is the equilibrium point. The output is ON. The average revenue is NQ and the average cost is NR. Supernormal profit per unit of output is the difference between average revenue and average cost. Therefore, RQ, so NQ minus NR is the supernormal profit per unit of output. The total output is ON. that is SR. Therefore, the total supernormal profit is PQRS, the shaded area. That is to say, output multiplied by supernormal profit per unit of output SR into RQ. It is very simple. The profit maximization condition is MC is equals to MR. This is the MC curve. This is the MR curve. So both are intersected at point E. This is the equilibrium point. This is the equilibrium level of output. In this level of output, the firm requires this much amount of cost, NR amount of cost. The price is NQ. So NQ minus NR is QR. This is the profit. So PQRS is the profit for the firm. This is the short-term equilibrium of the firm under monopolistic competition with the supernormal profit. Now, short-term equilibrium of the firm with the loss. A firm under monopolistic competition will also be realizing loss in the short run. It can be explained with the help of diagram. In this diagram, the firm comes to equilibrium at point E where MC is equals to MR. At this point, output is ON. The price, average revenue is NR, that is OS. And the average cost is NQ. Average revenue NR is less than the average cost NQ. Therefore, loss per unit of output is the difference between AR and AC. Hence, QR, NQ minus NR is the loss per unit of output. Since total output is ON, the total loss is PQRS, the shaded area. Output multiplied by loss per unit of output. This is short-term equilibrium of the firm under monopolistic competition with loss. See, look here. It is very simple. The profit maximization condition is MC is equals to MR. So, this is the marginal cost curve. This is the marginal revenue curve. Both are at intersected point E. This is the equilibrium point. So, this is the equilibrium output. In order to produce this much of output, the firm requires, so NQ, this is the average cost curve. NQ amount of cost it requires to produce ON amount of output. But the price of that commodity is NR. It is below the Q. So NQ minus NR. This shaded area is the loss area. So this is the short-term equilibrium of the firm under monopolistic competition with loss. Now, long-run equilibrium of the firm with normal profit. We have seen that the firms under monopolistic competition can earn either supernormal profit or loss in the short run. But in the long run, such profits or losses disappear. This is because if the existing firms are earning supernormal profit, the new firms will enter into the industry. As new firms enter and start production, supply will increase and hence the price will fall. Therefore, the supernormal profit will disappear and the firm will earn only normal profits. On the other hand, if the firms realize losses in the short run, some firms will leave the industry due to losses. Therefore, the supply will decrease and hence the price will rise. So, the loss will disappear and the remaining firms will earn only the normal profit. Further, firm earn normal profit in the long run when average revenue is equals to average cost. Therefore, in the long run, a firm under monopolistic competition attains equilibrium when average revenue is equals to average cost and marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. So, there is easy to enter the industry and easy to exit the industry is possible under monopolistic competition. If some firm is earning the supernormal profit, new firms enter into the industry and produce in the commodity, the price will goes down. So, they will face the loss. When they face the loss, the firms will go out. So, the supply will cut down, then the price will increase. So, it will equalize the demand and the supply of the product. So, in the long run, the firms can get only the normal profit. The normal profit condition is AR is equals to AC and also MR is equals to MC. This can be explained with the help of diagram. The equilibrium point is E, where MR equals to MC. At this point, price, the average revenue is NQ, that is OP, and the average cost is also NQ, that is QR. Coincide the abnormal profit or loss, PQRS disappears. Therefore, there is supernormal profit, no supernormal profit. but there is only a normal profit which is included in the cost of production. In the short run, there is only one condition of equilibrium, that is to say MC is equals to MR. But in the long run, there are two conditions of equilibrium, that is MC equals to MR and AR equals to AC. So look here, this is the marginal cost curve, this is the marginal revenue curve. Both are equal here at point E. This is the equilibrium point. This is the ON equilibrium level of output. So this is the average cost. This is the average revenue. So in the Q point, average revenue and average cost are equal. So here there is no supernormal profit. Only the normal profit is up here. The condition is, so AC is equals to AR at point here. At the same time, MC is equals to MR at point here. Both are satisfied here. In the long run, the firm earns only the normal profit. Selling cost. Selling cost is one of the important feature in monopolistic competition. What is selling cost? Selling cost means the cost of selling a product in the market. It includes the cost, expenses incurred on advertising and publicity, commissions and salaries to the sales manager and other staff, and other margin granted to dealers in order to push up the sales of the product. In other words, it refers to the expenditure incurred by the firm to canvass the buyers to buy its product. In short and simple, selling cost is the cost involved in sales promotion. Selling cost is the cost involved in sales promotion. This is the meaning of selling cost. Now, definition of selling cost. E.H. Chamberlain defines selling cost as cost incurred in order to alter the position of the shape of the demand curve for a product. I repeat, according to Chamberlain, cost incurred in order to alter the position of the shape of the demand curve for a product. Now, production cost or cost of production. What is cost of production? The production cost or cost of production refers to all the expenses incurred in producing a product. It includes cost of raw materials, salaries and wages to the workers, power, packing, transporting of the commodity to market, etc. This is called a cost of production. For making a product, that is cost of production. For selling the product, this selling cost. Now, effects of selling cost on the demand curve, or how selling cost affect in the demand. Definitely selling cost impact the demand. So with the help of the selling cost, the sales will increase, the firm will get profit. Let's see. The selling cost affect the demand of the consumer by the following two ways. Imperfect knowledge of the buyer. Number two, the possibility of altering the people's want. The important thing is the possibility of altering the people's demand. Advertisement include the old buyer to buy more and also attract new buyers. Again, I repeat, advertisement include the old buyer to buy more and also attract new buyers. This means an increase in demand. The new demand curve representing an increase in demand due to the selling cost will above the old demand curve. So with the help of selling cost, the sales will increase, the demand will increase. Let me see the price output equilibrium under the selling cost. The selling cost curve is a U-shaped curve like average cost curve. This indicates that selling cost decreases with the increase in output, and after a certain level of output, the selling cost increases. So initial stage is increases, after some stage it is decreasing, after some stage it is increasing. Explains the price output equilibrium under selling cost. The new cost curve, including selling cost, will lie above the old cost, that is average production cost curve, when selling costs are not incurred. This is the old average cost curve. This is the new average cost curve. The new demand curve, when selling costs are incurred, will also lie above the old demand curve when production costs only incurred. So look here, this is the old demand curve, this is the new demand curve. So in the diagram, x-axis represents output and y-axis represents revenue and cost. A are 0 and AC 0 are the original average revenue and average cost curve when selling costs are not incurred. ARN and ACN are the new average revenue and new average cost curve when selling costs are incurred. The new demand curve ARN lie above the old demand curve AR0. At the level of output ON, the average cost including selling cost or cost per unit is NR. This is NR. And the average revenue, the price per unit is NQ. The average revenue is NQ. Therefore, the RQ, NQ minus NR is the profit per unit. The total output is ON. Therefore, the maximum profit earned by the firm when selling the cost incurred is PQRS, that is the shaded area. We can also find that the price of the commodity NQ or OP, NT is the production cost and TR is the selling cost. Therefore, the average cost is NR. Hence, the profit is the difference between the new average revenue NQ and the total average cost NR. I repeat, y-axis represents output and x-axis represents revenue and cost. This is the average cost before selling cost. After including selling cost, this is the average cost. This is the demand curve. This is the average revenue curve. After selling cost incurred, the new demand curve, this is. So here, average cost, okay. In order to produce ON amount of commodity, the firm requires NT amount of average cost. It is not including selling cost. After including selling cost, it's a new average cost curve. So, the selling cost is TR. So, total cost is NR. Then, before the selling cost, this is the equilibrium. After that, the new demand curve arises. So, this is the new price. So, in order to produce ON amount of commodity, the firm requires cost of production plus the selling cost. So, NT plus NR, this is total cost is NR. So, the total revenue is NQ. NQ minus NR, this gap, PQRS is the profit. Now, excess capacity. What is the meaning of excess capacity? The difference between the capable of producing output and the output actually producing of a particular firm. I repeat, the difference between capable of producing output and the output actually producing of a particular firm is called excess capacity. According to Chamberlain and John Robinson, a firm under imperfect competition or monopolistic competition produce an output in the long run equilibrium which is less than socially optimum or ideal input. In other words, they do not produce that level of output at which the long run cost is minimum. This will happen when the firm operates at the point on the falling portion of the long run average cost is minimum. Average cost is less than average revenue. A firm under monopolistic competition attains long run equilibrium when the demand curve, average revenue curve is tangent to the long run average cost curve, so that it may earn only the normal profits. But they do not increase their output because their profits have already been maximized. At the level of output smaller than at which their long run average cost would be minimum. This happens at the point where equality between the marginal revenue and the marginal cost, MR is equals to MC, has been attained. So, it is the technical explanations. Simply, the understanding of excess capacity is the difference between the capable of producing of output and the output actually producing of a particular firm. So, the concept of excess capacity under monopolistic competition and perfect competition can be explained with the help of diagram. This diagram explains the excess capacity under monopolistic competition. X-axis represents output and y-axis represents revenue and cost. So, this is the long run average cost curve, this is the long run marginal cost curve, this is the long run average revenue, this is the long run marginal revenue. In the long run, the equilibrium of the firm is two conditions, MC is equals to MR and AC is equals to AR. So, the first condition is MC is equals to MR at point E. In order to produce OM amount of commodity, okay, the firm requires this amount, MQ amount of cost. So that is the revenue. So the price is P1. So in order to produce OM amount of commodity, the firm requires this point, MQ amount of cost. So this is the revenue, MQ is the revenue, the price is P1. But the firm can produce the ON amount of commodity because, so the average cost curve, minimum at point R only, minimum at point R only. If the firm produce the ON amount of commodity, then the firm want to reduce the price from P1 to P2. So this is the excess capacity of the firm. So this is the excess capacity of the firm. Although the firm is capable of producing ON amount of output, but it will not produce. The firm will produce OM amount of commodity only. Then only the firm can earn more profit because the price is very high. In order to, if produce OM amount of commodity, the firm can fix the price P1. If the firm can produce ON amount of commodity, then the price will decrease from P1 to P2. So the firm will not produce the full capacity of ON. The firm will produce only OM amount of commodity only. Then only the firm will earn the more profit. This is called the excess capacity of the firm. This diagram explains the excess capacity under perfect competition. In the diagram, the firm under perfect competition is in long run equilibrium at point S, producing ON amount of output, where the long run average cost curve is minimum at NE. At this point, price is equals to MR equals to MC equals to AC. The price is nothing but average revenue. So the average revenue is equals to marginal revenue, this point. This point, average revenue is equals to marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost is equals to average cost, which means that the double condition of the long run equilibrium is satisfied. This represents socially ideal output. This represents socially ideal output, and hence excess capacity does not arise in the perfect competition. So the excess capacity does not arise in the perfect competition. It will arise only in the imperfect competition, like monopolistic competition. This is the excess capacity of the firm. This diagram explains the excess capacity under monopolistic competition. Now, waste or defects of monopolistic competition. The defects of monopolistic competition or imperfect competition are also called waste. They are: number one, excess capacity. Under monopolistic competition, a firm in the long run equilibrium produces an output which is less than socially optimum or ideal output. The difference is capable of producing output, and the output actually producing of the firm is called excess capacity. This excess capacity regarded as waste of monopolistic competition. Number two, unemployment. Under monopolistic competition, the firm is producing less than socially optimum output. If the firm can produce 100 units, it will produce 80 units. So it will not produce 20 units. So therefore, the firm do not utilize the resources to fullest extent, and this will result in unemployment of resources in the country. This is the second waste of the monopolistic competition. The third one, the cross transport. The another waste involved in monopolistic competition is the waste of expenditure in cross output. If firms cater to the needs of the locality, transport expenditure may be minimized. For instance, cloth produced in Mumbai will be sold at Calcutta, and those produced in Calcutta will be sold in Mumbai. This involves waste due to cross transport between Mumbai and Calcutta. The fourth wastage is the insufficient specialization. Under monopolistic competition, there is insufficient specialization. The cost advantages can be had only if the sales are expanded. To some extent, the failure to specialize and the costly maintenance production is also considered waste in the monopolistic competition. So insufficient specialization is one of the waste in the monopolistic competition. And the fifth wasteful thing is advertisement. In generally believed that competitive advertisements under monopolistic competition lead to increase in price of commodities. If competition is perfect, there is no need to such expenditure to be incurred. So the expenditure increases, the advertisement expense increases, because of that the price will increase. So this is the wasteful advertisement. Too many varieties of goods. Too many varieties of goods is another waste of monopolistic competition.